Good afternoon. Thank you for coming back for another pharmacology class. I'll be continuing with anti-tubercular drugs. So today I'll be dealing off with second line drugs which are used under anti-tubercular drugs treatment. Now, there are certain drugs like which has been updated recently, and if you have observed in my first class, I have not mentioned these drugs, but in this class I will be mentioning about it, and I want you to just keep updated with the recent drugs which has been added to the anti-tubercular drugs. Now, coming over to the classification, I will just refresh your memory regarding the classification which I had done that time. So second line drugs consist of thiaacetazone, para-aminosalicylic acid, ethionamide, cycloserine, kanamycin, amikacin, capreomycin, ciprofloxacin, ofloxacin, clarithromycin, azithromycin, and rifabutin. These were the drugs which were being told in the first class that were coming under the classification of second line drugs. And apart from these, there are other drugs which I will be dealing with it at last once I have completed on all these drugs. Alright, so let us start off with thiaacetazone. Now thiaacetazone was the first anti-tubercular drug which was discovered, and it was said to be convenient, it was low cost, and it had to be combined with isoniazid for a particular efficiency to be observed with that particular drug. But the only drawback about that particular drug was that it was hepatotoxic. It was hepatotoxic. That was the only drawback that restricted its use. And it was weak when compared to all the other anti-tubercular drugs, but it was considered to be one best among all the derivatives which were taken. And the adverse effects which were noticed along with this particular drug were hepatitis, exfoliative dermatitis, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, and very rarely bone marrow depression was also noticed. Now, Stevens-Johnson syndrome is actually a rare disorder affecting the skin and the mucous membrane, and it usually starts off with flu-like symptoms which later on results in formation of rashes which begins to spread over, and then we have the blisters being formed. And usually the Stevens-Johnson syndrome just comes up, or it just pops up as a reaction to certain medications, like for example in case of antibiotics and all, you can notice this. And you can also notice even you can find some common side effects like anorexia, abdominal discomfort, loose motions, and even minor rashes. And mild anemia tends to persist as long as this particular drug is given. And this drug is said to be a reserve anti-tubercular drug. And as I said, it has to be added with isoniazid and it will be given. And the one more contraindication about this particular drug is it should never be administered to HIV positive patients because it will cause severe toxicity in them. And the dose that used to be administered to them was 150 mg OD in case of adults, and in case of children it was 2.5 mg per kg, and as I said, it has to be combined with isoniazid. Now, moving over to the second drug, para-aminosalicylic acid. Para-aminosalicylic acid is also known under the brand name as Pacer. Pacer. It is bacteriostatic. It's very much useful in case of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis, or when the therapy with the first line drugs like isoniazid, rifampin becomes unsuccessful. And what it does is it will be inhibiting the onset of bacterial resistance to streptomycin and isoniazid. Inhibits bacterial resistance to streptomycin and isoniazid. and it has to be administered with other anti-tubercular drugs. Now, pharmacokinetics. It is absorbed orally by, it is completely absorbed orally, and it is distributed all over except cerebrospinal fluid. And about 50% gets acetylated, and it is excreted rapidly by glomerular filtration and tubular secretion. And half-life is short for approximately 1 hour. Adverse effects that you can notice with these are rashes, fever, malaise, goiter, liver dysfunction, and blood dyscrasias. Patient acceptability is poor due to frequent anorexia, nausea, and epigastric pain. So this is all about para-amino-salicylic acid. Now, moving over to the third one, ethionamide. Ethionamide. Now, ethionamide is also available under the brand name Trecator. Now, it is said to be bacteriostatic or bactericidal against Mycobacterium tuberculosis, depending upon the concentration of the drug attained at the site of infection. Okay, how much drug is available at the site of infection? It behaves as bactericidal or bacteriostatic. It acts on intracellular as well as extracellular organisms. Pharmacokinetics. It is absorbed orally, distributed all over, including cerebrospinal fluid, completely metabolized, and has a short duration of action, that is half-life is also 2 to 3 hours. Uses. Treatment with first-line drugs like isoniazid, rifampin and all becomes unsuccessful. In such kind of cases, we can go for using it. And any kind of active form of tuberculosis treatment, we can use this particular drug. But they say that it has to be combined with other anti-tubercular drugs. And while the patient is on ethionamide, please ensure that we monitor the liver function test, thyroid function test, the glucose levels, and the baseline ones also should be monitored too. And contraindication is hypersensitivity and severe hepatic dysfunction. And a special caution has to be taken if the patient is found to have diabetes mellitus, any kind of hepatic impairment, HIV patients, because there are chances that they would start off with malabsorption syndrome, and we have to perform visual examination, ophthalmic examination has to be carried out, and ensure that patient does not take or is not involved in ethanol ingestion, because it can stimulate or it can trigger psychotic reactions. And monotherapy, that means if you are giving only ethionamide, it can cause resistance, rapid development of resistance can be noticed. And also ensure that patient takes pyridoxine or vitamin B6 along with this 100 mg per day in order to avoid any kind of complications related to the nerves or side effects. Okay, and side effects that we can notice over here is anorexia, nausea, vomiting, abdominal upset, aches and pains, rashes, hepatitis, peripheral or optic neuritis, mental disturbances and impotence. Dose 0.5 to 0.75 grams, 10 to 15 milligrams per kg, okay, per day will be administered. In the next class, I'll be continuing with the remaining second line drugs. Till then, stay tuned. Stay safe too. Bye-bye.